Hello, I'm Dr. Mirena Dimolareva and I'm a lecturer in psychology at Bishop Grosseteste University. So my area of research is really around animal-assisted intervention in children with special needs. So I have looked at whether therapy dogs can help children develop in terms of their educational outcomes. So I have looked at language and cognitive skills, but also in terms of their well-being. So can therapy dogs help children to feel less anxious and less stressed, and perhaps even develop their self-esteem? So looking at animal-assisted interventions, they really stem from the human-animal bond. And initially when the research first started, what we were really interested in is whether pets can help us in terms of our health and well-being. So first of all, what is the human-animal bond? Well, it's a phenomenon which started back when we domesticated animals, and it's really the bidirectional relationship, so the positive relationship between the human and the animal, but also the animal and the human. So it should really be beneficial for both parties. And why is this human-animal bond thought to be important for our well-being? Well, first of all, animals are companions, so they provide us with this companionship and they are thought to reduce loneliness. They also stimulate conversation, so they stimulate conversation between the human and the animal, but also when out and about and when talking to other people, it's another point of conversation and something that a lot of people can relate to. There's also this idea that animals actually connect us to the outside world, and we know how important nature is for our well-being. And it's this idea that animals are part of nature and they connect us with the natural world. They also give us a sense of purpose. So an animal can't look after itself. We need to be there to feed them and look after them and care for them. So it's really giving us a purpose of having to get out of bed in the morning, having to do these things, because actually our animal needs us to do these things. They're also non-judgmental. So it doesn't matter how awful your day was or how good your day was, when you come home, they're always going to greet you in the same way. So they provide this kind of extra layer of social support in a very non-judgmental way. Some of this stuff might seem like it's not really grounded in science, but actually we know that there are even physiological changes which occur when people spend time with their pets. So for instance, we know that when people stroke their pet dogs, there is actually an increase in the release of a hormone called oxytocin. And oxytocin is the hormone of love, of cuddles, it's all of that kind of stuff. And it's really the hormone also which is increased in babies when they're with their primary caregiver. So we know that this hormone is released when people are feeling happy. And as a result, we really know that this is kind of beneficial for us. Stroking our pet dogs is beneficial. And actually, interestingly, the dog's oxytocin is also increased. We have also found that when people are around animals, there is a decrease in their blood pressure and heart rate, as well as their cortisol, which is an indicator of stress. So actually people are feeling calmer and they're feeling less stressed. When we look at the research around dog owners, we actually know that they exercise more. And again, we know that being active and exercising is actually really good for our health and well-being. But it's not just dogs. So we know that people who are pet owners report to have higher quality of life. And actually, for some people with depression, it reduces their depressive symptoms as well. So it's again this idea that animals have this calming effect on us, and actually they perhaps help us in developing a kind of better well-being. And it's interesting because I will also briefly mention about the effect of animals in the classroom. As you are teachers, you kind of that might be of interest as well. So we know that having a therapy dog in the classroom actually reduces the level of noise children make, and it decreases children's cortisol, so they feel less stress over the half term. But it's also been found to improve their social skills. And there's also some anecdotal evidence, so not really grounded in a lot of science yet, because it's still a fairly new area of research, so we're still looking to kind of support this. But having animals around can increase empathy, and it can actually improve children's communication as well. So it's really something to consider. Having said that, this comes with a little bit of caution. In no means am I saying go out and get a school dog or go out and get a pet dog, because animals can also actually have negative impact. So, for instance, you will need the time to spend to look after the animal. It would also cost financially, and there are also other issues. So, dogs, for instance, can develop separation anxiety, which can then become more stressful for you. But if this is something you're interested in, if it's for the school environment, then I would suggest to get in touch with one of the national either pets therapy or therapy dogs nationwide that are national charities, and they provide visits from certified therapy dogs for various settings, including schools. Or if you're thinking that perhaps getting a pet might be the right thing for you, then I would advise having a look and seeing whether you can borrow perhaps somebody else's dog for a few hours a week, just to see what it's like and to see how that would slot into your life. And there are various websites that you can do that, almost like a try before you buy. But I would absolutely not advise that we go out and all buy a dog or any other animal, because actually animals are not the magic pill. They can certainly help with our well-being, and everyone's different, so how much they would help really depends on you and the time you've got and the type of animal that you choose, and there are so many other factors. But we can absolutely say that animals can improve our well-being.